Hello. Hello out there. Welcome to the Raparound Stereo Podcast Season 2. Coming at you right out of Nick Nurse's glasses. What up, what up? Who thought we were going to be back here for another season? Not me. Good to be back, everybody. My name is L.A. Zintars, and I am the host of the Raparound Stereo Podcast. Coming back to you for another season. First season was full of trials, tribulations, ups and downs, experimenting, flopping, failing, trying, oddly succeeding. It was fun. But a lot of things have happened between then and now. One thing we did have was COVID. It's still happening. It's kind of a big deal. My heart goes out to everybody who's been affected by it. This is not a small thing. People are not just numbers. This is kind of a big deal. It's a pandemic. Hope everyone's staying safe out there and taking the proper precautions to limit the spread of this thing. The other thing that happened was we had a bubble season. So the last time I recorded was actually before even COVID hit. So we did do part of last season in terms of broadcasting, but we didn't do anything towards the end for the bubble. Things were crazy. Some things in my personal life were up and down, moving places, moving jobs, etc., etc. So we're back. But we missed the end of the bubble season where the Lakers were crowned champions, defeating Miami in the finals. Our hometown favorites, the Toronto Raptors, made it to the second round in a hard-fought series with the Boston Celtics. Went 7 games. OG hit some crazy shots. Pascal didn't do so many crazy things. And we were out in the second round. But that's okay. It's a weird season. Pascal admitted to feeling kind of up and down and not so good. Still got high hopes for the kid. But more on that in a little bit. We also have a December start. So season starts on the 22nd. And the Raps play the first game against the Pelicans on the 23rd. So that's all coming up in mere days. This podcast restarts at about the same anniversary as our biggest comeback in team history, which also happened on the 22nd, was when the Raps came from down 30 to beat the Dallas Mavericks. So that was pretty cool. So this is kind of symbolic in that sense. So everybody, welcome back once again, and happy anniversary, or nearly, to what was a pretty historic evening. I have coverage of that game, one of the better ones that I've done from last season. It's up on our channel. So what's new? So let's talk about this. We rebranded. You're looking at it, new colors, new font sizes, new music, new background, right? Not so much by choice, but a lot of things are different. We're still going to be doing post-game. Right, so after most Raptors games, going to try and jump back on here, talk about what was good, what was bad, what I saw, what needed improvement, etc., etc. Not going to stick to anything hard and fast in terms of it being every Raptors game, but we're going to try and do most of them, because otherwise it kind of starts feeling like a job. And I'm not getting paid for this, I'm just doing it for fun. So it'll try to be pretty frequent, I mean at least once a week, if not more. But the other emphasis I really want to focus on is bringing guests on. And that's what really kind of makes me tick in this industry, is not just the game, the players, but the people behind the scenes covering the sport who, labor of love, are doing a fantastic job. So many great writers, so many talented people out there just doing what they do and giving us all types of great stuff to read, listen to, and watch. So we're really going to build them up. It's going to be kind of like a post-game fireside chat. That's what I'm calling it. So after every game, we're going to have somebody on. Or we're going to try to have somebody on. Might not be every time, but we're going to try to have people on. So that could be, we got some maybe ex-Canadian University basketball players in the works as potential guests. A couple of buddies who might like basketball. Members of the independent Raptors media. Members of the not-so-independent Raptors media. And maybe we're going to go big sea fishing and gonna try and link up with some bigger names in the industry. So we'll see what happens. Worst they can do is say is no, and best that can happen is they say is yes, and we have a great time chatting. So that'll be kind of the flavor. After every game, we kind of pull up a chair next to the fireplace, and get chatted up with some of our favorite people in the industry. What's not to like? So in terms of getting the admin out of the way, one more thing that's worth mentioning is the donation box. So a lot of this we're trying to call it net zero. So anything that gets donated to the stream is going to go right back into the stream, because rights to streaming, so those are free, but any other sort of like overlays or icons or graphics or musics, these things all kind of cost money. Right now we're using free track, but if we hope to grow, hope to solidify our place here, it's not free, so anything helps. Anything you can donate, more than welcome, and we'll be sure to shout everybody out, no matter how big, no matter how small. So thanks in advance. That's probably it. That's just kind of a brief intro of what's going on. The other thing worth mentioning is that we did have a couple preseason games, right? We did play Charlotte twice. We played Miami once. We went 2-1 in those games in that order. We lost to Miami, but they're a conference finalist, so who's really too worried? Before we actually dig down into the games themselves, what happened? Personnel changed, right? So since the Lakers won that championship, we lost a couple guys and we added a couple guys. We did lose big Serge Ibaka. Unfortunately, great team guy, although now his jersey is super cheap, which is why I have one. Mark also left. Malcolm Miller, on the less notable side, but still a great guy. Sorry to see him go. But then we added a couple cool names like Aaron Baines, who I actually like, and this bun is a tribute to his earlier hairstyle when he was with the Celtics, because he had like everything shaved and then he had like a top bun, which is really ugly, and that's the first time I actually ever heard of Aaron Baines. But now I'm really glad that he's on our team. I like that he's shooting, like he's more willing to shoot. Like I hold him and Mark kind of like side by side, and he doesn't pass as well. I think he looks more mobile to me. He looks like he's a more willing shooter. He might even be a better shooter. Don't know the stats to back that up. But he sets the screens, he can move well, he goes for offensive rebounds. Mark was kind of like slower on that end. So there's pros and cons to this. That's kind of what I'm seeing. So excited to have Aaron Baines in the middle setting screens. Excited for him to develop maybe a pick and pop game. Excited for him to get paid. He seems like a good team player, and we're kind of happy to have him. And with that, we get a very awesome Twitter account alongside us. The Aaron Baines unofficial fan account. Can't remember what it's called, but the guy running it, or male or female, fantastic. And let's see, maybe we could reach out to them and get a chat in. So we actually added a couple people as well through the draft, and then free agency. Aaron Baines obviously being one of them. We also added Alex Len. We also drafted Malachi Flynn, and the season hasn't even started, and he's already a cult hero in Toronto. Great to see. Seems like a great kid. Seems like Fred 2.0 with just like lighter hair. So he's been solid. He looks like he plays defense. Looks like he shoots threes. We re-signed Chris Boucher to a longer contract, and we optioned. Who am I forgetting now? Paul Watson, and then Yuta Watanabe. So he's been looking pretty sharp too. He kind of reminds me of Danilo Gallinari. They're out there at the 4, kind of nimble, tall, and can shoot, and kind of like understands the game. But I don't actually know enough about Gallinari to actually, compare more, but they seem kind of similar. As far as preseason looks are concerned, so the game itself, a little disappointing having that Miami ending, and considering that we took 59 threes. I'm not going to read too much into a preseason game. They're kind of hit or miss, and there's some things you can take away, but a lot of it you can just kind of chuck in the trash. I think the coaches are just kind of seeing what works, and there's also only a week of preseason, so this is a weird preseason, and we had a couple guys leave. We have to integrate people. I'm not worried about chemistry. I think Baines is going to fit right in. I think he's going to understand. The coaches are smart. The players talk. We're going to be a solid defensive team. On offense, I think that's still going to bite us in the butt, though. I think our half-court offense, once transition stops happening, we might be a good regular season offensive team in that regard. But when it boils down to the playoffs, I don't know that we have an answer yet for a player creating off the dribble and getting a bucket when we absolutely need it. Pascal can be that guy, and I think that's where my concerns hinge a little bit. We go as far as Pascal takes us.
and he's been hitting threes. Like, I love the way he's been hitting threes in preseason. Right there, bang. Love that that just came up as I was talking about it. Doesn't get better than that. But, you know, he's kind of, I haven't seen him do a spin move in a long time in the post. I think, well, people are packing the post against him. I think he's going to kind of have to marry those developments of shooting, post play, eventually into a comfort zone of where, like, he can kind of do it all and exploit mismatches. Because right now, there are a lot of people on defense that can kind of force him away from what he's trying to do, especially in the East. You have Bam Adebayo, you have Giannis, you have Jonathan Isaac. You have these guys who are like built like Pascal, where he used to be exploit. Like, they're kind of like matching body sizes, so he has less mismatches. I don't know what the answer is. I'm excited to see it. This is kind of one of those seasons where I don't expect much from the Raps, but I think they're going to overachieve. It's likely on their over/under that you know, the bettors have set for the team. Excited to see where it kind of goes. Apart from that, let's just have a fun season, right? So plenty of games coming. Hopefully a lot of post-game coming, right? And you know, we'll see you guys around. More the merrier. Support the stream where you can. Donate, link, subscribe, like. All of it's great. So looking forward to hear from everybody as we sort of try to build this thing. So more news to come, more games to come, and until the next game, peace.